Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coming Out. I'm so glad you're here. As you can see, I forgot to unmute myself. Tonight, we have a special guest with us. It's David. He is the one half of Gnome & Frog. And before I bring David on, I have a few things to take care of. So he's waiting in the green room. So I'd like to welcome Sally. She was first tonight. Welcome, Sally. Maggie Doodle is one of my admins tonight. Thank you so much, Maggie, for agreeing to moderate. Rita is listening while she's driving home. Thank you so much, Rita. Be safe. Dottie Pina is here. Thank you so much, Dottie, for joining and always supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. And my bestie, Hickory Springs, Valerie, is here. Good to see you, girl. Thank you always. She's my other moderator tonight. I really appreciate you all here, and I know David does as well. Before we get started, I just wanted to make a special announcement, and that is that your support is so necessary for this channel. You don't realize how much help you have been. I have received several emails or messages this week from others, some who are in the closet, some who have just come out, and they've expressed that this channel has helped them greatly and that they appreciate this being such a safe place. And so that belongs to you guys, because in the chat, you can support people the way you speak and what you say, and it really means a lot, and it's going to help this channel grow. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, all of you who join us. I see that Valerie Chick Picker's here. Thank you so much. And as you can see, David has joined the chat, and also Carol Bargain Shopping is here. Thank you so much, Carol. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the giveaways, which I'm so excited about. I have 6 items to give away, and I'm going to be looking over to this other screen here for a second. And I'm going to pick winners from this screen. So my other screen is way over there on the other side of the table. So and what I did was I wrote down all of the different prizes that we had to give away. I put one on each piece of paper. There are 6 items. I randomly drew them because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to give away first. So the first thing I'm going to give away is the plaque. So it's this plaque right here. It says, "Always choose joy." And I'm going to pick a comment. Thank you all, by the way, for your comments. I'm hoping I can see the river. Okay, the winner is Jim Madden. And Jim, if you are watching at a later time, please contact me through email or direct messages. You have won this plaque. You have 10 days to claim your prize, or it will be put up for the next giveaway. The next one that I'm going to give away, if I don't break it first, gotta put myself back up on the screen, sorry. Well, I have to do this by touch. Okay, the next one is this tumbler with the lid. So I'm gonna go over here and pick another winner. And that would be Rita. Rita, congratulations. Rita won this tumbler. So I need to write that down so I don't forget. All right, Rita. Congratulations, Rita. Thank you so much for always supporting this channel. Okay, the next item I'm going to give away is this cool tumbler. It doesn't have a lid, but it's dishwasher safe. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. And that would be Deb La-di-da. So Deb, if you're watching at another time, congratulations. Deb won the tumbler without the lid. Put her down. Okay, the next item is this cute plush dog. Right here, had lots of comments about this dog last time. Let's see who wins the dog. Cross your fingers. Dottie, you are the winner of this cute plush dog. Congratulations, Dottie. Okay. Whoops. This is probably the favorite. This cute pillow made of pom-poms. All right, so let's see who it is. You ready? Okay, Deb, you already won. I'm going to go ahead and pick someone else. I didn't think it would do that. Got to pick someone else. Chick picker, Valerie. Valerie, you are the winner of this cute plush pillow. Please contact me with your mailing address so I can send this out to you. Awesome. Got one item left. And it's this cute message board. It says, "Today is my day." Let's see if we can get someone different. Sorry, you can't win twice. Valerie, Hickory Springs. Valerie, you need this, girl. You need this to put all of your YouTube ideas on. So congratulations to all my winners. I really appreciate you supporting this channel, and just get your mailing address out to me this week and I will get those in the mail for you. Let's see if anybody else came in. Jennifer Hayes. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and coming by. So I'm ready to introduce my guest, and some of you know him as the other half of Gnome Frog, and that would be David. Hi, David. How are you tonight?
I am
Great.
well.
The picture is wonderful. I don't know if you did something different, but it looks better than it did 15 minutes ago. So that's great. Okay, so if you've never been here before, I'm not going to be talking. David is. I'm going to put myself on mute. And my moderators, if you would please welcome new people that come into the chat during the story. And then at the end, you have a chance to ask questions to David. So David, I'm going to let you take it away. All right?
Sure. See how it goes. All right. Hello, everyone. As Beth mentioned, I am the other half to Gnome the Frog. Bill Penny is my husband. We are both resellers in the community. It's how we met Beth out in eBay Open a couple years ago in Vegas. So yeah, I assume most people are resellers in the group. And I am a little nervous, so you have to pardon me if I skip around or seem a little nervous. So yes, coming out. When Beth mentioned that she was starting this show, she was having it for people that came out later in life, which is what my husband Bill did, coming out at 50 years old. I actually have a different story. I came out at 14 years old, and I am actually 50 now. So it's quite a few years difference in that sort of a story. So for me, I guess I always knew that I was attracted to guys. Probably age 10 is when I realized I was attracted to someone else in general. Other than that, I liked being a kid and playing with my toys and climbing trees and riding bikes and all that. But at age 10, I noticed a boy and realized that there was something there. And I don't know, it just seemed kind of natural to me at the time. I figured I was probably the only one who felt that way. A lot of the same story you hear from many young people when they're questioning themselves at that age. So as time progressed, let's see, we were living in Germany. I guess a little backstory on me. I grew up as a military brat. My father was in the Army, military police. I was born in Japan. Lived in the Southeast United States most of my growing up, and Germany for 3 years. When I was 10 years old, we were living in Germany. We'd been there for about a year at that point. So flashing forward to moving back to the States, we moved to Florida in 1983, and that is where I met a young gentleman named Matt that I kind of fell for, and we had a little bit of a fling there. He was 14, I was 13, and it was just incredible. I just, figured, I kind of figured it all out, and I knew that's where I wanted to be was with a guy. So at age 14, we moved to Virginia, which is my mother's side of the family is from Virginia. Williamsburg area is kind of home for me. Um, I told one of my cousins, Diane, when I was 14, that I um, liked guys and that I had met this guy in Florida, and told her a little bit about that. And um, she was fine. She thought it was kind of interesting, cool. So that would have been 1983, 84. I came out to my mother also around that same time at 14. I heard somebody call me a faggot in school. I was a freshman in high school, and I heard it, and it upset me, and I came home upset this particular day, and my mother sat me down and asked me what was wrong, and played like a 20 questions because I didn't really want to talk. And finally, she asked me if it had something to do with sex, and I kind of lost composure. It was my mother. I was, always honest and like close with my mother, so lying to her just kind of hurt. So I wound up just telling her how I felt, and we both kind of cried over it a little bit. And let's see, she said the whole could be a phase, and I at that time figured I should probably kind of go with that, so maybe I could get her to stop being upset over it. For the next 6-7 months, I talked to a couple of girls. I went and sat on the girls' front porch up the street, a neighbor's girl, same age in high school. All the while just knowing that it really wasn't something I wanted to do. I guess I was just trying to, make my mother happy at that point. Um, 1984, 85, 83, 84. I was at a New Year's party, and I got drunk, and I came out to a friend, and I was 15, and he tried to calm me down because I was hysterical and crying, and I was drunk. And I told him that I liked guys and that I was gay, and that he said it's okay that he was bisexual himself, and that he had some friends and he could introduce me to other gay people. Um, so that was like really wonderful, and yeah, that's amazing. That's so long ago now. um, so I wound up meeting at 15. I met well, quite honestly, it was a little bit older gentleman. He was in his 20s, early 20s, and I kind of went after him when I met him. So I don't know. It's questionable at 15, just turning 16, whether or not that should have happened. But I don't know. I lied to my parents, I'm sure, as to the age of the person that I was going out with on the particular evening that I first met the guy. And but let's see, that kind of introduced me to the gay community through meeting this gentleman Michael. And I gosh, I'm not even sure. I just I came out to my father at 16, I guess, would be kind of the next big milestone of that. My mother hid it from my father for a year after I came out to her officially. She didn't say anything to him. He found out uh, by looking under my mattress in my bedroom. It was a Sunday morning. I had gone to work. I think I was working at Burger King. He had gone into the bedroom to look for the Sunday funny paper, and he looks under my mattress and finds some magazines that had guys in them, and approached my mother, and she said that she was aware that I had these feelings and thoughts, and that I had, basically come out to her. I get home that evening, my mother pulls me aside and tells me what had happened in their conversation and told me to wait until my father was ready to talk. Just, went about like nothing had happened. I believe it was almost a month. It was a few weeks, almost a month. Um, Came home one afternoon. My father said, "Sit down, let's talk." And he said I was his son and that he loved me. Uh, Beyond anything else, and that he hoped that I might have a different life because it would be a difficult life. It could be a difficult life from his perspective at that time. This is mid '80s. It was not the culture that we currently live in. Um, so he was concerned for me and my safety, and we talked it out and hugged it out. He didn't want to meet any of my friends or anybody I might uh, try to date. He didn't want to meet anybody in the first couple of years, and then he softened over time. Actually, I think over the years, my father and I got closer, and my mother might have been a little bit less. I don't know, not sure the word. They're both wonderful. I was very blessed to have the parents I did. I know a lot of gay young folks that got disowned and kicked out. One of my best friends in high school was thrown out of his father's house numerous times. I would go kind of try to rescue him from his dad flipping out on him. So I was very blessed. I was very fortunate to have the loving parents that I did. Um, I'm actually not reading any of this chat. I'm noticing because people are all saying hi and whatnot. So yeah, the early '90s and my '20s was a very interesting time. It was gay pride parades were happening all across the country. I was living in Williamsburg, Newport News, Virginia at the time, and going to DC a lot because that was like the closest place for us to go. Big city and lots of bars and nightclubs and dancing and partying. And they were doing marches on Washington and really nice big pride parades that I went up to a few of those. I did the march in '91 and '93. Uh, I wasn't, signed up, involved, volunteering for particular groups, but I went up and I was part of the mass of people that said that we were standing up for our rights. I do feel like maybe I had an influence in my own little corner of the world. People that I met that didn't know gay people, some coworkers, at that time, was very out, and everyone knew. And I had people that said that they didn't know anybody that was gay, and they had a different opinion after having met me. So that made me feel good at that time. So yeah, it was a different world. I never thought I would get married. That is just something that is yeah, it wasn't on my horizon. I mean, we talked about, oh yeah, everybody will wear tuxedos or whatever, but it was never really a conscious thought. There were people out there that were trying to fight for those rights, and I'm so glad that they were doing that because I'm very, very happy today to be a married man. Um, I was definitely more on I guess, the partying side when I was younger. I didn't take a career path necessarily. Uh, I took a experiencing life path, which has me to where I am today. I guess everything happens for a reason, as they say. Gosh, as far as the coming out part of all that, I was fortunate. I did not have any real bullying. I heard, as I mentioned, a few names in the hallways at school, but very rarely. I honestly think some of oh, feedback noise coming in or something. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think the people respected me for being who I was at that time, especially like high school. I had guys walk up and say, "Oh, I hear you're gay," and I'd say, "Oh, yeah, would you like to go out?" And they'd be, "Oh, no, 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 no." They'd back away. But no one ever really came at me. So I don't know. I hear these, stories you see in the news, and I have had friends, of course, over the years who uh, had been gay bashed, and I, I don't know. I've been very blessed in that. I mean, I've always been able to be me. That's been nice because I wouldn't want to be anybody else. So that's good.
Did you grow up in a religious household at all?
No, no. There was a belief in a God, but not a Bible thumping sort of. We didn't go to church. We went to Sunday school when I was, I guess, before we moved to Germany. So from like ages 5 to 9, I think, about 4 years we lived there. But,
Mm-hmm.
no, we were not. We were not raised religious.
Do you remember what the atmosphere was like in Germany or Japan? I guess in Japan you were a lot younger, but do you remember what the tolerance or acceptance level was in Germany at that time? Were you too young?
I was too young.
Yeah.
The climate in Germany at that time, that was during the Iran hostage crisis, if you recall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was very tense. There was car bombs going off around Germany. There was a period where they were going to send all of the dependents home. My father was going to have to stay because they were getting ready for war. That was what I remember the most of that age, and my attraction that developed.
You talked about how, your parents' reaction and everything. And about 10 years ago, I volunteered with homeless LGBT teens. And I spent a lot of time with them. And I gave them notebooks and let them write, private thoughts and whatever. And they were all homeless. And the one thing they would tell me all the time is, I just want to go home. I just want to go home.
I believe
and
that.
Even though their parents had disowned them and kicked them out of their house, they still wanted to go home, And
Sure.
so I'm so glad that you had that experience and that you were able to, stay with your family.
Well, thank you. Yes,
that's great.
I do my best to not forget that I was much more fortunate than a lot of folks in that.
And you were doing you were coming out or in like 1980?
84.
84. So you're right at the beginning of AIDS.
Yes.
And so can you talk a little bit about, were you afraid of getting AIDS? Did you have friends who got AIDS? Did it affect anything in your, life?
It did. It certainly affected the way, sexual behavior was. I thought being gay meant I had it, like at first, just for the mere fact that
you were so young.
When it was first talking around, they were like, "Gay men have this, gay men have it." I'm like, do I have this? I went early for testing and did not. Actually, I went to a military doctor, and he was very mean. I don't know what his deal was. He asked me if I had been a bad boy. Why do you want this test? Have you been a bad boy? I'm like, what? That was a very strange experience. Military doctors were kind of known for being jackbutts, but I did have. Oh, somebody's trying to call me. I did have friends that got HIV, AIDS back in the day. I have a few friends that have passed over the years. My best friend Chaz in high school, I mentioned, that had gotten kicked out of his father's house multiple times. He passed away about 15 years ago now. He was positive for about 25 years on all the different cocktail drugs that they developed over the years. Kept him going. Yeah, I was definitely afraid of getting it. Um, condoms became like the way of life. I mean, that it was just what you had to do.
Yeah, by the time they figured out how to prevent it, so many people had gotten it. I've lost several friends to AIDS, and I even lost a friend who was a woman to AIDS, who received it from her husband, and he received it through drug use. And she passed away shortly after he did, left a 3-year-old son. Wow. So, but back then it was known as the gay disease, in the 80s. I lost, it seemed like I lost 2 or 3 friends a year from 85 to 88, I think. It was just bam, bam, bam. It was just.
Where were you living?
I was curious from a gay man's standpoint, because I never asked any, what they thought. I was actually on my friend's deathbed the day before he died, and he never came out to me. And he's like, you know what I have, right? And you know how I got it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. But he was ashamed, and that's how he came out to his family, is he got AIDS. And
that's
so I'm going to open this up for questions in the chat. I saw one from Sally, and I did want to make one comment, in that it's really neat, David, that you were so close to Washington, D.C., that you could participate if you wanted to in a lot of different things there, at the Capitol. I know you said you went to Washington, D.C. I don't remember if you said you marched or whatever, but yeah, it's great that you were close by. That's where the big stuff was happening,
Absolutely. So. I went to Obama's inauguration. It was great.
You went to what?
Obama's inauguration.
Inauguration?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. I think he kind of answered this, but Sally did say, did you feel the gay community was more accepted in other countries?
Personal experiences, I can't really say. I was too young when we left Germany as far as living there myself. I know in travel, going back to Europe as an adult on a gay cruise that we did, Spain and Mediterranean and France, being gay there didn't seem like it fazed anybody. I mean, you could walk around holding hands and be affectionate on the street, and nobody really flinched. So I think it's more tolerated in other countries. For our progressive country of America, where we have all these freedoms, we have a lot of backwards things. I'm not sure the word.
Let's move forward a little bit and talk about you and Bill. So, what was the first thing that attracted you about your husband?
Well, I saw his hairy chest.
Okay.
We were at a pool, a hot tub area at a campground that we go to, that we met at. And I just said hello. I like hairy men, so I said hi, and he said hi back. And that was just basically it. We started up the conversation, exchanged information, stayed in touch. Was very, very curious. So I went and visited him at his job. He lived 2 hours away out in Philadelphia area, and I'm out in the Lancaster area of Pennsylvania, where everybody is. But you're in Texas, so yeah. That was the first. I didn't know him yet, so I had to be attracted to something.
That's awesome. Yeah. Carol likes the fact that your parents were good about it, especially back at that time. Yeah.
Absolutely. My father was military police. He was in the Army, and he actually had to process some soldiers out for being gay in the Army at that time. I guess they got in trouble for committing lewd acts, as it was called, or something at the time, sodomy laws. And he had to actually process these guys out. And he told me that he felt bad about it because not all of them deserved it. You know, some people did stuff wrong and were rightly kicked out of the Army. But there were other guys that were just gay, and that's all it was that it took at that time.
Yeah, I was watching an episode of The West Wing the other night, and they were talking about the don't ask, don't tell law. And the problem with that was that that's not how people were getting kicked out of the military. They were getting kicked out of the military because they were being spied on. Their diaries were being read. They were being pretty much forced to say they were gay. It wasn't don't ask, don't tell. It was just, you know, they find any way they could to get you to tell the truth so that they could kick you out. You know?
Yeah. Well, my father's colonel in his office was a lesbian. My father was very close with her, and he retired a year early. He did 29 years instead of 30 years. And he's told me that part of his decision in going ahead and retiring early was because he found out through me that this woman was in fact lesbian. It was suspected, but no one was allowed to really ask her in the office. And once he found out, him being 29 years military police, duty and honor, he felt conflicted, and part of his reason for retiring earlier was that he did not want to have to say anything about Jackie. He didn't want to mess up her. So I thought that was just kind of shows the character of my father. Actually, he stayed friends with her and her wife for many years. My parents went vacationing with them. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sally has a question for you, David. Do you remember when you were finding out who you were attracted to? Was it all people of the same sex, or was it a more person-to-person attraction?
First, it was definitely one particular person, a boy about the same age as me, and I had no idea how to express that in any way, shape, or form. I never approached him. He never knew what I thought. But yeah, it was a specific person. I mean, I'm well aware that there's plenty of men out there that are very handsome to look at, and I do enjoy that today looking, but I got my fella now, so.
Right. And just because they're pleasant to look at doesn't mean you want a relationship with them. So, so what are your and Bill's plans for the future? Do y'all have any plans, like, in your life? Like, I know you're doing reselling. I know that you go camping a lot. Do you have any future plans? Like, when you are you ever going to retire? Are you just going to keep on working, or?
Yeah, we definitely have plans. We have specific goals with the business. Bill's 8 years older than me, so he will officially retire sooner than I will. He plans on staying with the business and just working and running the business after he officially retires. And however we have to structure that for him to be able to collect his Social Security and still, make money in the business, we'll figure that out at that time. But we plan on just seeing how far we can take this. We're very excited about the journey that we have discovered the last 2.5 years. I had no idea this reselling world was out there. Having gone to eBay Open that first year, we were barely 6 months into our business, and we just said, we saw that there was an opportunity in front of us, and we just said, let's go for it. So we hopped on those planes and got there and met you, met many other wonderful resellers, and we've learned a lot, and we both are living off of the business now. That's at 2.5 years in, we quit our full-time jobs, and it's amazing. So that's a huge goal for us, and plans that we have is just to really just see what we can do
I
with
came
this.
back
Who
from
knew?
eBay Open and I was telling everybody, I
Who
just
knew?
met the cutest couple. Maggie wants to know, your father wasn't at Willow
Oh.
Grove Naval Air Station, was he?
Thank you. That's very kind.
I think we got a little lag there. Your father wasn't at Willow Grove Naval Air Station, was he?
That name does not ring a bell to me. We were Okinawa, Japan in '69. Yeah. Yep. Oh, are you back?
Yeah, am I lagging?
Oh, you are. I guess maybe.
I feel like you're lagging. But
Maybe I am. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with Willow Grove Naval Air Station, to answer Maggie's question. We were mostly landlocked, except for the island, I guess, where I was born. I was a year and a half when we left Japan, so I really have no memories of it. It's on my bucket list of places to go back, or to go. And how long have we been together? What a wonderful question. 7 years on the 7th of September. We're just a couple of weeks away from our 7-year anniversary and our first wedding anniversary. It's the same day.
time that
I
great.
planned that out.
I have 3 anniversaries.
Oh, I did.
I have 3 anniversary. Oh my gosh. It's just ridiculous. So we only really celebrate big on one of them. So, and surprisingly,
Okay.
it's not our legal marriage that we celebrate. It's our first one.
All right.
We married ourselves when we were 18, and we consider that the actual wedding. So
Okay.
November 22nd. Then we have March 1st was our commitment ceremony, and January 28th was the legal wedding. So, I mean, I honest to goodness can't tell you the year we got legally married. I have to really think about it because I didn't really want to do it. Like, it wasn't that big a deal to me. But yeah,
part of the reason I had the wedding. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the reason the wedding anniversary happened on the 7th of September was to try to keep our anniversary the same day. It would help us to remember it.
Yeah.
Plus, I just love that. It was a good day for us, so I wanted it to stay special. Yeah.
Are there any other questions before we close tonight? We've had some really good questions, and David, I'm so thankful that you came on today. You're my actual first coming out early guest. If any of you know anyone else who would be willing to come on, this is actually the last interview that I have scheduled at the moment. And so I have plenty of open spaces for interviews. Just give them my contact information that's in my description below. So I'm just going to pause for just a second just to make sure we don't have any other questions before we close. Again, thank you all for being here. You're making a difference. Like I mentioned before, we are having messages to my direct messages, my emails, thanking us for the program, and you're making a difference in people's lives. So please keep coming back. I really appreciate all the support you're giving. All right, well, I don't see any other questions, Dave, so I think we're going to go ahead and close. And everyone have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, good night.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Thank you.